Okay, we can do this both ways. There is a solar filter. That just might help some of you brainwashed assholes understand. Let's look at that sun. Look here when we get in close. Oh, my goodness. Look, there are clouds in front of it, huh? Oh my God. Look at that. This is for all you retards out there. Flat Earth followers of bullshit. I'll show you something. Exposure. You zoom back. It's overexposed. You don't see anything. Okay? You cannot. The light blinds you from seeing those clouds that are right in front of it. Hello? Hello? Are you clouds behind the sun believers watching? Keep your eyes open now. Dumb shits. Oh, look. Some of the clouds disappeared. Oh, look. It looks like clouds behind the sun. Oh, look, there's got to be clouds behind the sun now. Look, he's showing them. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's all of that color in front of it? What is that? Oh, that couldn't be clouds, could it? Could that be clouds in front of our sun? Huh? Look, I see a sunspot. See if we can see any more. And here's another good example. Overexposed. Oh, look. Overexposed. Oh, look.
You see anything there?
I'm zooming in on the sun.
Oh, really? Wow. It looks different than seeing.
Oh, yeah. Here, see the sunspot?
This sunspot he shows it. Oh, yeah.
See it right there?
That's amazing. That what you can see with that. What you magnify it up about, what, 1,000
It's
times?
83 times zoom.
83. Look at this. Excuse me. Just mira la mancha de la luz del sol. It looks like, what is the spot you're saying?
Wow.
The spot, la mancha en el sol.
But watch when I zoom out. Watch.
Oh, wow.
That is a camera, yeah. We play with Mickey Mouse.
You don't see the clouds, do you?
No, not at all.
But when I zoom in,
Wow. Puedo tomar un video.
with the right solar filter on, look at all the clouds.
Take a video with my phone.
Sure you can. Take a picture
Okay.
with your phone of
You
it.
can
If you
because
can.
the sun is
Might be able to block some of the sunlight. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Wow. It's beautiful. Wow.
No, don't ask for that camera.
$600.
Really?
That's all it is.
Mm.
$600 for this camera.
You had it for a while already?
Yeah. This is one of Nikon's biggest sellers. For a while it was sold out. I mean, you can see why. I mean, this is the zoom that it has on the sun. I mean, I can really zoom in and catch the edges of it too.
Like you
See,
put
this
it right
this
across
little
the-
remote was a little bit more money, but the camera itself is only $600. And like I say, you know, when you, even with that much of the sun showing, you know, if I zoom all the way back, it almost looks like there's no clouds in front of it. But see, I got a solar filter on here too, so if I take the solar filter off, it changes everything.
Wow.
You
You
know?
cannot zoom in with that like that.
Well, I can't. I actually can. I've zoomed in on the sun without burning my camera up. People are a
Can't
lot of
burn your
times.
camera?
Oh yeah, people are afraid a lot of times that they'll burn their camera up. But if you cut back on a lot of the light settings on it, you can zoom in on it. I mean, like you see here, I'm zoomed in. But if I put this film in front of it, you see even more of the clouds. Okay, so without the solar lens,
Wow.
you don't see all those clouds. And there's a lot of people that think that those clouds are going behind the sun, which obviously that they're not. And you know, I've had some people call me a gatekeeper because I debunked this clouds behind the sun crap. And
They didn't want to hear that. No.
oh no,
like the idea
they
of-
say, oh, you know, you're a gatekeeper and all of this and that. And I'm like, you know, you guys are just idiots because you don't want to take $25 invest into a solar lens. I actually like catching all of those corpuscular rays.
You can
See all the rays that are out there from
can
the
you
sun rays?
Oh yeah, I see the aura around it.
Yeah, so if I
Look at
zoom
the
in a little
yellow
bit,
purple.
Sí.
Now, can you see when there's activity in the sun, like when they have like a storms in the sun?
oh, you mean like the solar flares and all? I think that's all CGI made up by NASA.
Think so?
Sure.
CGI?
Yeah, computer graphic imaging.
Wow, that's a big claim.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Well, you know, a lot of the stuff, what do? We just believe them, right? Out of 7.5 billion people in the world, only 550 astronauts have been in space, supposedly. So if we take their word that there's literally space out there, I'd like to see any astronaut be put in a vacuum chamber, and I want to see them float around inside of a vacuum chamber in front of me. I doubt any of them. I guarantee you none of them would take that bet, because they know what a vacuum chamber will do to them. It will boil their blood, and it will pop them like a kernel of corn in a popcorn.
You're referring with the zero gravity, right?
Yep. Because what is gravity? Buoyancy and density. If you got something lighter in air, it floats. If you got something heavier in air, it falls. It's pretty simple, right? You can even put an apple, which will fall, put it in water, and it'll float. Bobbing for apples, right? Because the density of the apple isn't heavy enough to float to the bottom.
Are you a science teacher or not?
No, I'm just one that questions a lot of what science tells us.
That's a nice story. One day.
I am a questioner, you know. It's always to question instead of believe. And when you got a belief system put in place that's been in place for 500 years, it's hard to break that program. In other words, a lot of us are programmed to believe in something that we have really no actual proof of, but just their word and just our education that taught us to believe it, right? The first thing you do when you went into school, what was the first thing you saw on the teacher's desk? A spinning globe. You went in there and you were 5, 6 years old. Went in there, what's that, teacher? Well, that's the globe. That's where you live on, the spinning globe, the spinning ball. Take a spinning ball, spin it at 1,000 miles an hour, and stick water to it. How does it stay? Not only is Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, actually it's spinning over 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, but it's also spinning around the sun, okay?
Yeah.
And the sun is supposedly moving through our Milky Way galaxy at just,
You're saying that the Earth is supposed to it got on its axle run, it turns 1,000 times.
Spins 1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles.
1,040 miles an hour at the equator. But then again, you know, at the top and the bottom of the world, it doesn't spin that hard. So those people ought to be flattened down to the world. Maybe that's why they're so short up in Alaska. Oh, wait a minute, they ain't short, are they?
Not that I know of.
There's
so
a lot.
You're saying 1,040 miles per hour at the equator.
Yes, sir.
What about at the poles?
At the poles, well, it would spin differently at each
wouldn't it be
longitude line.
Wouldn't it be faster because smaller diameter?
You would think, right?
I would incline to think so. Yeah.
You would think so. Why aren't we flying off the Earth? Well, because they say this magical force of gravity is keeping us here, right?
Yeah.
It's our weight that keeps us on the ground. So, do you see any curvature? They call it sea level, right? You ever hear of the expression, you live in a plane of existence?
No.
You've never heard that expression?
Never have, no.
Really? I've heard it a lot of times. In my lifetime, I've heard that.
Forgive my ignorance, no.
But, you know, I don't see a curve. And you're never going to see a curve. Even science says you cannot see the curvature of Earth, even from an airplane, right? You have to be in space to see Earth. You nor I will ever get to go to space.
Would you believe in
Unless you got $20 million to give me to send me up there. And then, most likely, I'll be on one of them ones that blow up before it gets to space.
Have you heard this guy, Isaac Asimov? The guy, the fiction writer that the Clark Bell, the guy that came up with the Clark Bell, 22,000 miles up in space, the geosynchronous orbit. Oh
yeah, that was all science fiction. He wrote about.
This is supposed to be true because the satellites are orbit.
What did they used to send up on weather balloons?
I give up.
Well, they sent up little gadgets, right, on weather balloons
You
to
mean
pick up certain things for the weather, man, right? So if you have, you know, these weather balloons up there,
telemetry,
right, floating around, what's to say that these satellites ain't up there on big, huge balloons? Do you know that they make balloons that are as big as a football field? Huge balloons. And they even got video of them launching them from